is in, which is this one here. It is a licensed car. I haven't done one of these yet, so let's just get straight into unboxing it. Going to keep this build quite simple. I'm not going to go too heavy. Got an idea with, I'm going to reuse wheels from another build, and gonna lower it obviously as standard. Possibly do a splitter, tint the headlights. I may make a little spoiler for it, but we're just gonna go straight in, get it unboxed and go from there. So it is unboxed, and what we have is an Audi RS e-tron GT. From the offset, looks like a wicked car. Audi badge is actually de-chromed, it's black already, which is cool. Wheels, we get a couple of things out of the way and we have a look at what the wheels look like. That is a standard inset for this wheel. It actually looks quite cool, but we've got to obviously mix this up a bit. The first mod that I do, if you've watched all my videos before, you'll see that obviously lowering is the first step. Then obviously it might be a case of sorting the splitter, and I reckon I might do a little spoiler on the back as well. Half inclined to do like a yellow tint on the headlight, because I do like the way that the yellow contrasts with the black, and then sort out the wheel design. I think the wheels that I had in mind are actually too big for these inserts. So quick features of this car, you saw in the time lapse I was just working out the lowering. So we're going to do a 30mm drop on the rear and a 30mm drop on the front. Cool feature with this car I've never seen before is a charge port in the front wing, like a real Audi e-tron. Again, some other cool features. We've got a quick release steering wheel, so once this is clicked on, obviously the steering wheel's put on, you can click these in and the steering wheel will come off again. A cover for the RC and manual switch. Haven't seen one of these before with a screw in it. Can't say I'm too sure on this. Again, this is just a general feature of the car. Cool for like when you've got a child, you can just flick it into RC without the worry of them flicking it to manual. I've hooked up the battery. So we've got the light switch, which you've got a full rear light bar, and on the front we have just a little LEDs in there, which is cool because this lights up these as well. Again, looks really cool from the front. And we have your standard radio and voltmeter. You've got high and low speeds, and you've got your forwards and backwards. Again, standard opening doors on the inside there. So what I'm now going to do, I'm going to do the lowering of it, getting the heights right. Obviously I've got to take this off to be able to lower it, because I've got to move the steering column out of the way. So here we go. So we saw from that time lapse, I've now gone through the process of lowering it. A little bit more involved than I anticipated. I had to do a bit of cutting out underneath the seat, mainly because now that where the motor position is, obviously it's slightly different. So I'm now going to go through the process of cleaning the underside of the seat out, just so it looks a little bit cleaner. And then it'll be the case of doing the rear spoiler. I've noticed obviously that there is a contour line here. I might go off that and then ducktail it. Again, not too sure yet. I might not even fit a spoiler, unsure. Headlights, definitely going to be doing them yellow, because I think it will work really well with the colour of the black. And also going to be doing a front splitter. Looking at the line itself, it's going to be nice, simple, yet effective. We have got a 5mm clearance front and back, which I think it fits perfectly. So now, see, here we go, on to the next time lapse to see what's happening next. Keep watching. I was originally going to go right up to this line here, which would essentially be the opening and closing of a real car bonnet, but I thought this time I'd actually go up to this swage line all the way around. So the contrast of the black plastic and the carbon I think will work really, really nicely. Again, especially going against the gloss black splitter. You can see here that I've actually pre-tinted the headlight. I've actually done a 2 tint process on this. I've done a yellow tint, and then I've done the black tint over the top again, which I think looks really, really cool. It adds a complete different dynamic to it, which I will then also do on this light. The wheels are printed, and I just got to do the graphics for them. So we're just gonna go straight into a time lapse. Here we go. Done the carbon wrap on the bonnet, done the twin tint on the headlight, and as we can see, it does have that aggressive look to it, a very murdered out look, which I think is working so well with especially this shape of car. So the wheels back from Josh, and as we can see, 3D printed. So this is how they'll start. Obviously you can see all the different layers of the print. Once they're all smoothed and sanded back as much as physically possible, this is how they'll end up. So we've gone for the Rotiform aero discs. I think they look absolutely amazing. One of my favorite type of wheels, to be honest. And again, against the car itself, once they're obviously fitted in place, we can see how good that looks on the car. So I'm now going to get to sanding the rest of the wheels, getting the graphics on, and then fitting them up. So here we go. Saw that obviously I've got the wheels back. We saw a before and after process. So what I've done now with this wheel, I've sanded obviously the print down to get it as smooth as possible with my little DA here with a sand grit. I think it's about 180 that I'm using to start with to get most of the layers out as best as possible. Now going down to around about 400 grit to again make it as smooth as possible for obviously painting when it comes to doing them black, and then obviously it gives the stickers a better chance to stick to it without showing too many imperfections. So I'm gonna get on with doing that now. Shouldn't take too long at all. I can already start feeling that they are getting smooth. During that time lapse, obviously I went down to doing a bit of hand sanding as well, and this is the final outcome. Still a couple of level lines that are visible, but once obviously the paint is applied, these won't be seen, and obviously there's decals going on it. Again, there are certain areas which we can see just in here which I can't get fully smooth. So I do have the allowances when it comes to doing it. So now I've obviously got the next two wheels to do the same process, get them painted, get the decals on, and then get them fitted to the vehicle. So here we go. That is all the wheels prepped, painted. Now I've got decal on, obviously you saw the before and afters. What I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this up, just not too much, just enough to allow the decal actually to take a lot better, because good old British weather is super cold in my workshop at the moment, and my fear is that as soon as I take off obviously like the application tape off the top, the decal will come with it, and I don't want that because obviously there's very intricate parts obviously within the word Rotiform and aero disc. So I have got my heat gun here, so what I do, just heat it up enough. I can see that it's just starting to shrink a little, and then I go over it and just press out any air bubbles that I'm seeing appear. And there are slight imperfections, mainly with how obviously 3D printing is done. It's done in various different layers. Again, I try and get them as smooth as possible. If you've got any top tips, again, drop them in the comments section. I'd really appreciate obviously hearing what people recommend. So one final little bit of heat, again, just something that I do personal preference, just to make sure that it has fully taken. Give it a press over, and that is one wheel face done. So I've got two more to do, and then it'll be a case of applying them to the wheels themselves. So here we go. In the time lapse, obviously I've done the decals on them, and I've actually fitted the sensors to the wheels now as well. I think it looks really, really good. Again, I'm waiting to fully finish it so we can get the full look of the car. I've gone through the process of doing the spoiler. I know how I'm going to be doing that now. I've actually taken a spoiler that was on a Lamborghini. I've taken the centerpiece off of that, so I've cut the Lamborghini spoiler right down, used this centerpiece. Had a lot of issues with making the spoiler on this. This is what I've made. I was going to be using this, and then it cracked and it broke, so now this is going to be my new template. Ideally, the original idea was to go for like a ducktail spoiler. It just wasn't working at all, so thought of another route, and this is the route I'm going to go down, so that when I make a new one of these, this will obviously be mounted in the center, and then it will sit like that. Obviously this will be screwed either side, so there will be like a flick up to it, and obviously a gap as well, and again wrap it in the carbon. When that's fully fitted, I think it looks so good. Again, just waiting on more materials to be able to do that, because it's just been a bit of issues with this car at the moment with the build process, but that just happens with builds, unfortunately. Sometimes they go really well, other times there's always just like little spanners thrown in the works and things don't quite go as I would like them to, but learn by it and then just make it happen basically. So obviously the next bit will be doing the spoiler, so here we go. And that is the wheels now on. After the issues with the spoiler, I've remade the spoiler, done it in the carbon effect, and I think it flows really nicely. It's now a case of fitting the windscreen, the steering wheel, the seat, getting the mirrors on, giving it a final clean and quality check, obviously making sure that the parental controls work, all the lights work, and then going to be meeting up with Rin, get her to take some quality pictures, and then that will be the build complete. So here we go. Here we have Rin obviously taking the photos, so they'll be coming up next. Super looking forward to them because the backdrop is wicked. Obviously caught the sun just right, I think. Got a bridge in the background, the river. So here comes a quick time lapse of the rest of the shoot and then photos. Keep watching. And that is this build vlog done. I really hope you enjoyed watching the process of this car going from something standard to something that stanced out and looking epic. I've got to give a few shout outs to Epic Play for being the suppliers of the Audi, Josh and Lisa Creations for doing the amazing 3D printing work on the wheels, and not forgetting Rin for carrying out some amazing photos. Be sure to check out Static Youth across all social media platforms. That includes Instagram, Facebook and TikTok, just by searching Static Youth and looking for that little yellow cube. Now you've watched this video, hit that like, share and subscribe, and be sure to keep up to date with all my YouTube videos and go back and watch the ones if you haven't seen them already. Now until next time, peace.